Well, how's everybody doing out there? Sunday, December 17th. It's 10 o'clock. Hey, we're here. We're live. We're going to talk about comics for a little bit. We're going to talk about everything Zen. And we cannot do it without my co-host, Mr. Steve Stern. Steve, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, Bill. Happy holidays to you, sir.
Happy holidays. So you see I'm wearing got my holiday hat going on.
Yeah. Nice.
I'm looking Christmassy. I know I was going to hang some Christmas lights in the back of the room, but it's like, well, we'll have to do that next week.
Next week. Yeah, for sure.
Well, we've got some surprises this week. We actually have not one guest, but two guests. Yep. So the first guest, I'll give you a slight hint of who it is before I bring him on. And here's your hint. It's Mr. John Chin.
Hey,
Don.
Hey guys.
How you doing, Don?
Sure.
Thank you. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah.
Right.
Since the last show, I was actually getting messages and stuff saying, "Hey, is Don going to be on next week? Is Don going to be there next week?" They were saying like literally, they're just like, okay, almost an ultimatum as though to say, we'll watch your show if Don is going to be on next week.
Awesome.
They're tired of us, Bill. They're tired of us.
I miss you guys. It was a blast last time.
Yeah. Well, we're going to work together on a project in 2024. We just have to figure out what it is, but by golly, we're going to do it.
I would like that.
We're going to do it. Speaking of projects that we're working together on, we also have one other guest that we are working on projects together with, like as we speak. It's like Steve's bringing us all together. He's corralling us all together. So I'll give you a slight hint of who our next guest is. Let's do that. It is artist Thad Rhodes.
I almost had knew who it was.
Almost had it figured out. I don't know. It's like
this guy's awesome.
Before get it, I would have figured it out.
Happy holidays, Thad.
This guy right here.
So, which holidays do you, actively pursue in your home?
Christmas. That's it.
Okay.
Christmas. Yes.
Yeah. It's been a tradition my whole life, just Christmas.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, I did the Hanukkah thing. It's over now.
Yeah.
Eight
what
days.
What date did that start on?
And of course, does everybody have a Christmas tree?
What were you saying there? Like what date is Hanukkah?
What date did Hanukkah start on, please?
Yeah.
What?
How does that actually run? Because I'm only familiar. I really only celebrate commercial.
It was over a week ago. It went 8 days.
It was on the 8th. Yeah, it starts on the 8th.
It was on the 8th. Okay.
So Bill, I want to commend you on something. You've really become like a master programmer. You have all these cool intro segments, and you can show.
I'm just trying to make it look like I'm not broadcasting from my bedroom. I'm just trying to make it look like we got it down. We're doing good.
Yeah. Well,
which, by the way, I'm basically broadcasting from my bedroom. Yeah. I just want to make it look good.
Yeah. So
I love his honesty.
How's Cat Mouse? How was Cat?
Cat Mouse is doing fantastic. She's got herself a part-time job outside of the house. It kind of offers that bit of structure that we need as far as like having like an actual schedule, that sort of thing. And it's been years since she's been able to actually do that because she's been sick and she's not been feeling well. And right now her recovery has gone super well. She's super happy. She's working at a Michael's arts and crafts, working back in the frame shop. Yeah,
Right?
yeah. She's surrounded by art. She's surrounded by the types of things that she likes to do. And she likes the schedule. She likes the people. It's in a nice part of town. You know, it's like everything is good. So yeah, we're all very blessed that she is.
She's an expert framer, is she not?
She's a better framer than I am. Yeah, she's. I worked at frame shops for quite a few years with. I won't mention who, but he's on the show tonight. And I worked at a frame shop. That was right out of college. Actually, during the college years. Yeah. Yeah, it was a long.
We did work at the same art store in the frame shop for a few years. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, about a year. I think it was about a year we did that. Yeah.
I think it was. I want to say it was longer than a year. Because I got my 2-year degree. It took me 4 years to get it from our community college that we have here in town. And I remember that I was working basically at an art store or frame shop, like during the whole duration. I think half of that was at that Heidi's that we worked at. So at least a year or two.
Yeah, and Heidi's art.
So you guys had sort of like a parallel thing. You lived in the same area. You both moved at various times to the West Coast, and then you're back there. But Bill, something you did, and I don't know if everybody who watches this knows, you did like caricatures. I don't know how one pronounces that at SeaWorld, right?
I did. Yeah, I did that. I drew caricatures.
Now, tell me why that's funny.
Another parallel. You just mentioned.
Oh no. I was just there's just another parallel, and then I'm reading Kevin's remark. Framer, but you frame a good story, Bill.
But Thad, did you also do that?
Yeah. He actually came out to San Diego. I moved out to San Diego early 90s, like 91. Gosh, what am I talking about? It was 91. And I just decided, because I moved out to San Diego, I didn't have any friends, and I didn't have like a system or people or support, that sort of thing. But I did have a roof over my head because I moved out there with my parents. It was right after I graduated college. Right. So I just decided that any job that I was going to get was going to be somehow art related. I'm in San Diego where everybody wants to be a movie star or a singer or an artist, so that energy was palpable. So I worked at an animation studio. I worked airbrushing T-shirts. I worked at SeaWorld drawing caricatures. We were doing really well. I told Thad all about it, and he and our good friend Ben decided to drive 3,000 miles so we can get an apartment. And we all worked at SeaWorld.
Ben Go, right?
Wow. Ben Go. That's right.
What also did some Zen work.
Tell us about Ben.
He did. Oh, Ben's a good guy. We were the three amigos hanging out here in Virginia. So the idea of me dragging my two best friends out to San Diego so we can all be artists together, that just seemed like too much fun to pass up, So that was a good experience.
But what happened with Ben? Where is he now, or what can you fill us in on anything with him?
Mr. Rhodes.
He lives in Richmond now.
He lives in Richmond, yeah.
Yeah, he's been in Richmond for years now. I talk to him every now and then. We don't talk a whole lot, but it's like whenever we do talk, it's like we didn't miss a beat, But he still does art.
Ben actually designed the original Nira X logo that I use. I actually used most of the same exact bit of the logo that he designed to this day. Yeah, he designed it for me.
But what is he doing now?
To be honest with you, I don't know what he's doing now. I don't know.
Yeah, I've been out of touch for a little bit. Yeah.
Like careers or anything. We just kind of catch up and talk. But yeah, I'm not really sure.
Didn't Ben do a lot of inking over your work, Bill? I kind of remember seeing his credit in certain books.
Yeah, he did. He did some inking, and then we started a coloring house. We called it Planet Mars because
that's right. We were doing that
because
right after we all got back to California.
Yeah, exactly. So there was a while where I was actually renting. My parents still lived out in San Diego, and when I moved back to Virginia, my then wife and we rented their house from them, so that we were actually their renters for a bit. And one of the dining room, we turned it into a computer room. So we had tables going, like a desk going all the way around the outskirts of the room, and then there were stations. There's like 3 or 4 different computer stations and we had a legit coloring house for about a minute.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, Bill, did you ever get to pet Shamu?
I never got to pet Shamu. I did get to play with dolphins after the park
Yeah.
closed. We weren't really supposed to, but we were like there was a couple of times where because the dolphins, they just kind of like let them like just kind of chill, and so we just you pat the water a little bit. They kind of come out and they kind of roll over and show their bellies like just like a puppy,
Wow.
Yeah.
And there was one time where they're floating by like this, and I'm
Yeah.
rubbing the belly. And then I kind of want them, because they're floating by, I don't want them to go away. So it's like I sort of just slowly grab the tail and slowly pull back so they'll float back the other way. And that usually worked. It was usually a good trick, except this one time he just kind of flapped his tail just like this much, like just to get his balance. But I was completely soaked from head to toe, because he splashed the water. So I'm going through security that evening to go to my car. And they looked at me like, what were you doing? You're wet from head to toe. Like I jumped in the pool with them or something. So I almost got in trouble.
So
That's my
the
big
dolphins-
SeaWorld story.
Do they smell like fish, or do they have any? When you're that close, do they?
It smells like ocean to me. I mean, I didn't smell like something. There's no like pungent smell, but they also don't smell like nothing. It smells like ocean water, like seawater, like you're at the beach. That like ode the salt water is what they smell like.
And then we did
things here tonight.
we did Captain Nauticus, which was a sea hero, Bill.
Absolutely.
Now-
Absolutely.
Yeah, Captain
Let's
Nauticus.
talk about Captain Nauticus. Was that like a licensed book? Was that was Captain Nauticus like the mascot or something of SeaWorld?
No, it's a.
Mhm.
It's a. Should I tell it, Bill?
Oh
or-
yeah, absolutely. And then
Okay,
then
what
I'll tell you something funny that I found out about 2 weeks ago that I think you'll find interesting. Relates to Captain Nauticus. So I'll let
Okay,
you
I'll
tell the story.
I'll try to make it quick. So Parody Press started in California and in my hometown of Eureka, which is where I live now. And Bill was doing projects for us, but he wasn't living in my town. So we just thought, for the sake of just something different, we were going to move over to the East Coast. So we moved to Virginia Beach to be closer to Bill and his then wife, Veronica. And so Entity basically picked up and we went over to Virginia. And while we were in Virginia, we started getting a name for ourselves, publishing parodies and obviously Zen. And this place called the Maritime Museum was opening a big, I don't think it's quite a resort. It's more like an exhibit.
Mhm.
And it was multi-million-dollar. I mean, they had it on the Today Show when they opened. And they had this mascot named Captain Nauticus. He's kind of like an Aquaman type. He could command the fish
Very
and
much
stuff.
so, yeah. Mhm.
But he had a helmet, and it was, it was all ages. And so they called us and said, we'd like to see if you guys could maybe do our comic book. So Bill took it on, and we did this book, and they distributed it, through all the schools. And then we got national distribution. I think we did at least 2 issues, Bill, maybe more. I can't remember.
We did 2 different issues. The funny thing that I was going to tell you is that I was talking to a friend of ours. He owns a comic shop here in Virginia Beach, and he just I forget the name of the lead artist, the person that was I believe his last name was Hickey. He was one of the design people, one of the head design people that we were working on the book. He's like, "Hey, do you know this guy named?" And I'm like, "That name rings a bell. Who? Yeah. He worked at he did a Nauticus comic book or something." It was like, so it was so funny. I almost got I got like this serious flashback. I was just like, and this person. It's like it'd be so cool for me to see him and kind of like catch up and. Because he was, I just remember that whole department was so excited about working on a comic book because they're an ad agency. I think it was called Group 3 Communications. I think it was.
Right.
So
Good memory.
more of an ad agency. So to work on a comic book was something very different than the typical like ad agency type of work that you would do, creating ads and things like that. So I thought that was a lot of fun. That was super cool.
Very interesting. So somewhere you have these issues of the 1 and 2 issue of Captain Nauticus. They're probably valuable. I'll have to look that up.
There's
'cause
quite a
it's 30 years
few.
old. That's been 30
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, it's a long time ago for sure. Yep.
We printed
I've got-
quite a few of them. There was like the free one that was kind of given out
Right.
at the place that
I
had
probably
no
got a copy around here too. I'm pretty sure I got a copy of that.
no
Mhm,
cover
yeah.
price, but people liked it. It was really fun. A lot of action. I think I remember that being, there was a lot of meetings between us and Bill and Group 3, and it was like almost like it's kind of easier when you don't have a lot of people kind of looking over your shoulder, but it was a learning experience.
It was a big experience, and there were a lot of people looking over our shoulder and putting in their 2 cents, and everybody wanted to creatively.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people to please for a project like that, but it was a great experience, and it was really cool putting it together. And
You in the paper, I remember that too. There was an article in the paper with the two of you and
Oh,
Don.
yeah.
I remember that.
Yep.
And you guys all know that at the time that I, created Zen with Dan, I owned an advertising agency.
Yeah,
That's
you
right.
were one of
That's
those guys. Yeah.
Really? I didn't-
So I know all of that. All of that. And it's funny because one of the first things that happened in the newspaper, they did a big spread on my ad agency, and then the fact that I created Zen with Dan, and that was an amazing time, And,
It was.
Don,
And we still do some ad work from time to time when it comes across your desk.
oh, absolutely, yeah. Well, the quick story, of the reason Zen took off really was that I, being the owner of an ad agency and being a member, which I am to this day, of PR Newswire, which is the premier electronic service for disseminating press releases to all media. Okay. So I put out my own press release on Zen. And as the story goes, about 2 weeks after the release went out, it ended up on the front page of the Life section of USA Today.
Sweet.
So cool.
And within one day of that happening, just everything exploded big time.
So Steve, how did you make the connection with Mark Friedman at Surge?
Mark read the article in USA Today.
Then he found you?
Then he found me, as did a few other licensing agents. But I decided to go with the guy who had just picked up this little property called the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Sweet.
Yeah. But it's all a lesson that like today, right? And we can talk about this because this is part of what we're doing now. Today, I'm not saying social media has supplanted all advertising, but it's a predominant form of advertising now, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree.
Josiah says, I delivered the newspaper. Steve was in it.
Yeah.
Cool.
And, I love doing this, and I think it's great that one can use things like YouTube and, Instagram, Facebook, etc., to get the word out, because this is in large part how like Zen and Nira X have, had a resurgence.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like a full circle. That's why I'm so excited about the new book that we're going to be working on for 2024, the new series, because it's cool to have that crossover between Nira X and Zen, because without Zen, Nira wouldn't have had her first appearance at all. So the fact that that it's thanks to Zen that we actually have that.
And thanks to USA Today and some editor who was intrigued enough to want to put. Otherwise, none of us would be sitting here talking today. I guarantee.
I know.
That's true.
Let's see. Ken was asking what that large black and white print picture is over my right shoulder. That's a large. It's printed on vinyl. It's an Art Adams piece. Arthur and Joyce. They printed up like 100 of them, and it was one of those things. They only printed it up for like people that just happened to be on their Facebook page at the time. So that's what that is. I'll show it to you like bigger next time.
Okay. Is it of their characters or?
It's actually a big, that one multiple covered story that Art drew the cover for. It's got a big eyeball in the middle, and it's got all of these characters around it. And then they cut up that piece into like I think it was 6 or 8 different covers. And it's dope. It's so cool. It's
wow. And they signed it, I would imagine.
Yeah, he signed it. It's a signed and numbered thing. I think they only printed 100 or maybe 200 of them, and they only sold them to people that were. Joyce knows me more from the Facebook page. It's so funny. I approached their table at San Diego Comic-Con, and this is how Joyce knows me. She turns to Art and she's like, "Oh, it's Bill from Facebook." I was like, I draw too. I mean, I've been doing it for 30 years, but these guys are on such a level. I look up to them so much, and they're really cool. They're super nice people. So
yeah, that's nice. Hey, Steve, I saw that when you went to that show with Josiah. That did you say Mark Ditko stopped by and gave you a graded copy of your comic book?
Isn't it cool?
But,
you got it?
I'm sure I have it right here. Hold on, let me see what I can pull out here.
So Mark Ditko
pulling it out from the vault.
He's Steve Ditko's nephew.
I tuck it away in a drawer because it's very, very cool. But the thing is,
wait, Kevin with the jokes. He's like, it's better than saying it's Bill from MySpace.
Mark Ditko has been a Zen fan for a while now. Okay, and we met. And we started exchanging, communications. And Mark is a great guy because, in his family, he's been like, he's a guy really carrying the torch. Not that other members of his family aren't, but I only know him. But he really carries the torch of the memory of and legacy of his uncle. And right here on his card, it says Ditkoverse, and the world of Steve Ditko is a family operative collective of Ditko heirs, committed to preserving the works and beliefs of a very remarkable comic book artist and character creator. Our hope is that his work will live on. After all, a hero never dies.
Yeah. I'm wondering.
That's deep. That's really cool. Yeah.
Do you know if the Ditko family gets any residuals from Spider-Man?
Wasn't there an article recently?
There was an article about that.
They finally got paid, or there was a settlement, or something along those lines.
Didn't divulge any specifics, but apparently, Marvel and the Ditko family have settled all their differences. So I would hope and think that there would be some well-deserved remuneration, right?
Yeah. Didn't he?
Long time coming. My goodness.
Was he also the creator of Doctor Strange? With Stan Lee?
Well, he was the artistic creator. Again, I think the big issue is, well, if you have a writer and an artist, right? Who's the actual creator? Like, as far as I'm concerned, Dan and I are co-creators of Zen. Yes, I wrote the story first, but Dan brought him to visual life. So, makes sense, right? Makes sense that it should be a shared creation, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, totally agree.
And I think one thing that has got to happen in the near future, I would hope, is a really excellent documentary film about Steve Ditko. That's been a long time coming, and I think now is the time. His work was so amazing, and he also had a philosophy of life that he like a socio-political philosophy that he embodied in his character Mr. A, which was like a groundbreaking kind of thing. Like, when was there like a comic book superhero who was concerned about what's going on in the world politically and culturally and socially? So a great talent, and Mark is just a great guy.
Nice.
How could I not say he's a great guy when he gave me a highly graded copy of.
I know. That's sweet.
Yeah, and like slabbed and everything. Totally, like that was really cool.
You can
That
see
was
it
really-
on Steve's Instagram if you haven't followed Steve.
Oh yeah, right. I post everything that is pertinent and important, and that certainly is. And Mark lives in the LA area, so which is great. It's not like everybody's on the East Coast, guys. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm just calculating in my head if I mean, obviously if they settled, that's great, but in perpetuity, if you can think Ditko should have got a little slice of everything that they ever licensed with Spider-Man on it, how much that would be.
Isn't that
I mean,
crazy?
not
Yeah.
just the movies, but
Yeah, like
that's
everything.
gotta-
Lunch boxes. I want my thermos money.
Merchandise, yeah, that's
Possible. We don't know
Yeah.
the details, but Disney.
Well, they must have been happy with it, because if they settled, then whatever the settlement was, hopefully both sides are happy with that. So
Right.
but
So
yeah, if you think about all the little things, I mean, it's, my goodness, it would add up to some crazy number.
oh yeah.
yeah.
My
So,
goodness.
so Bill, are you going to draw something, or have you been drawing, or
No, I'm kind of like hitting all the buttons and making sure I'm putting up all the. And then I was interested in what we were talking about, so I really didn't start sketching anything yet. We're almost getting to the end of the show. We got our.
Well,
We
maybe-
should talk about Thad. Thad should tell us what he's been up to.
Yeah, tell us.
Yeah, Thad, talk to us a little bit.
oh goodness. And I've been so busy with my day job for the most part, so it's like which is design, graphic design, and
Tell us
creating art.
about it. Tell us about it, so everybody knows.
Well,
What you do.
I work for urban sportswear, I guess is what you would call it. RP55 is the umbrella company, and there are numerous brands that fall under that umbrella. And the one that I work for, the one that I design for the most, is called Hustle Gang. And we do everything. We do outerwear, coats. We do sweatshirts. We do sweaters. We do pants. We do jeans. We do t-shirts. We do everything. We do all of that. And I've been there for 26 years, and I design. We do a little bit of everything. It's not just graphic design for clothing. I mean, it's I've worked on ads for the websites that we've done, and I've worked on all kind of things, promotional books that we've done for the brands whenever we're creating a new brand. I've done the artwork for that, so a little bit of everything. It's amazing all the different hats you wear, and just the company is a good sized company, but it's nowhere near the size of a lot of our competition. So I do a lot more than the average person would do in a company. A big company, everything is specialized. You do one thing and that's pretty much it. And you do whatever needs to be done where I am, and that's what.
But like, what kind of outlets would your products be found in?
As far as big stores, we got like Dillard's is one. That's the one that I can name for sure. We've stores, big department stores, but then we switched and we moved on. But I know that Macy's, I believe we used to be in Macy's, but I know Dillard's is the one I can say for sure. And then there are smaller stores, chain stores that are around the country that we're into. We have salespeople that run the Southeast, the Midwest, the West Coast, the South, and all that. So we've got these stores all over the place. Like downtown.
Do you have to go into an office, or do you just work online or meet?
Oh, I go to an office. Yeah,
you do.
Yeah, I went to an office. Fortunately, it's about 2 miles, about 2.5 miles from my house, so not far at all.
That ain't bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I work out of.
That's not a bad commute. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I know.
It's funny that I haven't gone into an office in probably 40 years or something. Work out of the house. But the thing about when you work out of the home, right? And Don, you don't, because you're a realtor and you go out on location and sell and show properties and whatnot. But the only thing I get to do is on occasion I'll meet a client or a business associate, here in LA somewhere in a nice restaurant or a not so nice restaurant, right? But
recently you had to do an interview, right?
I did a big. There's an amazing site called Film Courage. I know the name sounds a little odd. Film Courage. If you go on to YouTube, where we're at right now, you will see that Film Courage has, I think it's 688,000 subscribers. Okay, nearly 700,000 subscribers, and they were kind enough to call me up and ask me if I would go to their studio, because they only do stuff in studio. And for 3 hours, I sat there just like answering their questions. There will be.
Where were you on the night of the 12th?
There will be several interview segments with me that they'll put up. But even though they're called Film Courage, but comics and graphic novels kind of relate to film, as we all know. And
For sure,
and they
yeah.
an amazing series that you can see now with Don Glut.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Right.
So, Steve, how did you come to work with Gigi Edgley from Farscape?
Through Bill.
Oh, really, Bill? How did that work?
I know all the famous people.
Bill,
I mean,
Bill
did
Bill's
you meet
been-
her first, Bill, at a con, or?
No, actually, I met her through a friend. His name is Mike, and he runs. He actually is a showrunner for I want to say he's got 10 or 15 different comic book conventions that he produces and he runs himself on the East Coast. And he just came to me one day because he knows Gigi, because he knows a lot of people. He gets a lot of guests that want to be at his shows. But she had a question for him about San Diego. And Mike knows that I go to San Diego every year. So it was just a question about about seeing about signing or about different publishers, or if there was so fortunately I happen to know somebody who works at First Comics. I won't say his name, but he's here tonight. So I called Steve and I was like, hey, is there any chance of Gigi spending some time at the First Comics booth? And then it made more sense that because she was doing some other things. She has panels, and because she doesn't just do Farscape. She's known for some other things as well. So, wouldn't it make a little bit more sense that if we were actually doing a project with her, and then think about having her at the First Comics booth, because then it's like it would just make more sense, right? If we were working on something together. And I didn't know if that was something she would like to do. But it turns out she's got a project that's very near and dear to her that she does want to produce, and she's been wanting to produce for quite some time. And so we talked about possibly doing some artwork and doing some production work on her idea. And that's how that's how the conversation grew, and that's how we talked for quite a while. And then San Diego came, and she was a part of everything over there. She got to meet everybody.
To fill in the blank, the big.
Please do, because I'm drawing, so I'm just like I'm leaving out 20 things.
So Bill contacts me about Gigi and this potential project, but in order to see if I could do anything for her in this regard, especially as regards Comic-Con, I had to talk to my esteemed publisher, the founder of First Comics and also executive producer on The Boys on Amazon Prime. That's Ken Levin. And
it's his company and his table, so they'll definitely have to talk to Ken.
But Gigi in direct contact with Ken, and as a result, Gigi appeared a number of times on various days at the First Comics booth, signing this promotional piece that Bill and I did for her concept. And she was also signing her photos, which is typical of what she does at conventions. I don't really know exactly how long it's going to, these things can germinate for quite a little while. Because, we want to do a graphic novel or comic book adaptation of Gigi's concept, but her primary focus is in mounting a TV show or a streaming show, or a film. I think she's also kind of focused on doing a film of her project. So,
what's it called again?
It could take a while until everything gets put together. She's also very busy. She is unrelentingly at one comic book convention after another. And there was just a big Farscape convention, I think, in New Jersey, less than a month ago. And she was, of course, a headliner at that. Very interesting lady, great lady. Yeah.
Does she live in the States or?
Yeah, she lives. Maybe I shouldn't say where she lives. She lives in the L.A. area. She does.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she lives in the L.A. area. It's so funny because I know where different people's studios and things are and where they live, but they oftentimes say if you're going to go on YouTube or something, don't tell people exactly where I am.
Yeah, there's probably some weird fans out
here's
there.
the coordinates to your house. I'm going to draw the map to the stars. This is where Gigi's barbecue grill is in the backyard.
Yeah.
So is she Australian? Does she have an accent?
Oh yeah, but it's not a very heavy Australian accent. But Australian accents are great, right?
Yeah,
it's a beautiful accent. The thing about her though is that she's got so much energy. She's so creative, and she's just got ideas. She just wants to roll with all these ideas and all of these concepts, and she just has an amazing energy to work with. So there's a lot of fun putting together her project and designing the character.
Have you watched Farscape? I mean, she just every scene that she is in, she just dominates that show.
Oh, she steals the scene.
I love that show.
Yeah,
big fan.
Yeah,
I have action figures. I'm a big Farscape nerd. So.
Oh my goodness, you should.
Well, we know to bring Gigi to the booth when Don Chin is there. Then.
Oh my god.
Oh man. So, we were supposed to come up with a trivia question, Bill. We're Bill and Steve and Thad, and I think Steve, you in the green room.
Well, first of all,
the show,
there's the picture, everybody.
Usually at the end of the show, we give away a small piece of artwork to kind of mark the evening, and we give it away to one lucky person in the chat. I usually do something super boring, which is like, let's choose a number between 1 and 30. But you know what? Let's do something a little bit more fun. So I'm leaving it to my 3 esteemed colleagues, and extremely, you guys are like lifelong friends. I've known all of you for so long. It's crazy. I think of Thad. Thad immediately, he's a childhood friend. I've known him since junior high school. So it's it's almost like I don't even think about it. Like how many years? It's like I just know he's a lifelong friend, and then I'm just like, wow, when did I meet Don? When did I meet Steve? That was like several lifetimes ago, and we're still cooking. We're still going. It's awesome. Yeah. It's so awesome. You guys mean a lot to me, so I'm glad that we can do this together. This is really cool.
Here, Bill. I agree.
Thank you.
All right. So, trivia question: the first person to answer correctly this trivia question will win this beautiful piece of signed art that Bill just did. Here's the question. You ready?
But before you do the question. I know that some people are watching because I'm broadcasting the 3 different locations. Okay. So as far as whoever answers this question first, the chat that I'm looking at, I think it's more synced up with the YouTube channel than it is with the 2 different Facebook channels that are out there. So just a heads up, just in case somebody pops up an answer. I'm looking at the one thing that comes in through the StreamYard software, and that's usually synced up perfectly with the YouTube, but Facebook is always a little bit off. Steve, please carry on.
Well, it's a simple question. I want to know in what calendar year ZEN Intergalactic Ninja was created and first published. In what year was issue number 1 of ZEN Intergalactic Ninja?
I need to get some of that.
I think Josiah should know this one.
Yeah. Well, anybody. Okay. So, Bill, just monitor. Now, of course, you know what people do.
I'm monitoring, and it's like I see this first answer, and it's hopefully it's warm. It's really warm.
It's warm, but it ain't
really warm. You're almost
warm,
there.
Right.
This will make it not easier at all. What was the year that I graduated? high school.
There
Nick
it is.
listened. Nick got
There
it.
it
Nick.
Nick wins
Nick.
every week.
Nick, my friend.
1987.
And look at it. You even got my fancy stamp that says
I like that.
2024 on it.
That's
I
sweet.
wonder if Nick would tell us if he like quickly surfed over to the Wikipedia page to find that out, or did he? And it's
Hey,
okay.
did you Google this?
And it's okay. I mean, there's no
Everybody
restriction.
congratulate Nick. That was a good answer. Good answer.
Nick.
Ken says, "Damn." Well done. Nick is happy. He says, "Oh yeah."
All right.
Oh, we got a little bit of rivalry here.
That's nice.
Google, yes, I admit it.
He did. All right, cool.
He
cool,
did
cool.
Google it. Why I oughta. Once
That's
again, grats. Yeah, you guys
Well,
are
guys,
awesome,
we
man.
did it
Awesome.
again. We went 45 minutes. We're trying to keep it to like a half hour so people don't get
It's
bored.
supposed to be it's supposed to be a nice little hit and run. We get to hang out for a little bit. We don't wear out our welcome, as it were, And but yeah, you guys, I'm so glad that the three of you, that the four of us, were here hanging out.
Oh yeah.
And I'm
See
glad
everybody.
Awesome.
I'm glad that everybody was here watching.
And let me say this to both
Yeah.
Don and Thad. Anytime, even at the last moment, if you want to join this show, just tell us.
Aw.
Your family. Not to mention, this is
Once you're in,
we live on opposite coasts. This is like a great way for us to hang out for a couple of minutes, and
Yep.
and then we can get
Yep.
back to work and get back to our families and stuff. So this is cool. Yeah, we should keep on doing this. Is what I say.
I'm all for it. Guys, it's been a pleasure. And we'll be seeing you next Sunday is still prior to Christmas. Am I not?
Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve.
Yeah, just
Christmas
prior.
Eve.
Yep. So I'll have some Christmas lights hanging in the background, and yeah, if you guys are up for it, let's do this again next week and kind of a pre-Christmas hanging out. What do you guys say?
I'll be in my Christmas jammies. But yeah.
Oh, cool. Well, I see. I
Do
got my
it.
little Christmas hat. I want to look slightly. I want to look like I own a Mini Cooper.
Maybe I'll get my menorah out or something.
There you go.
We'll celebrate every way we can. That's right.
All right, gents. This has been a blast as always.
Hey, man.
Yep.
Good
Thanks
night,
everyone
everybody.
for coming.
Thanks
Have
so
a
much.
happy
See you
Merry
guys.
Christmas. Bye, guys.
See you guys next week. All right. Bye now.
Good night, Seattle.